Hello, and welcome to my course on creating content writing portfolios. Thank you for joining me. Now, I'd like to start by explaining a little bit about myself. I am Deb, and I've been a content marketer and a content writer for around 6 years now. And during that time, I have written a few thousand blog posts, several, like 1.5 million words or so. And a good portion of that was before ChatGPT or AI in writing was even a thing. And some of the outcome of my work is that I have written for CEOs as a ghostwriter. My work is live on places like Forbes, on Entrepreneur, and other really cool publications. Along with that, I've had the pleasure of working with fantastic editors who have given me feedback saying that some of my work has stepped into the top 20 posts which drives the most traffic to their websites. I've also grown my own blog to 50K visitors a month with a few 100,000 impressions. And although HCO gave me a hit on my blog, I was able to achieve this with just a small 2% team. And my work has appeared at the top of search engine page results several times as featured snippets, as direct answers to questions, and so on. So basically, my point is that I've been in this field for a really long time. I understand the struggles that blossoming new writers face, and I know about the lack of information available out there. This is a course by a content writer and a content marketer for other content writers and marketers. And thank you for being on this journey with me. And I would like to give you some context. Now, you don't need this course to learn how to create a content portfolio, right? There's plenty of free information out there. But what is important is that you have context for what you're trying to do. I assume that you're here as a content writer or marketer and you want to build your portfolio. You could also be a freelancer trying to build your portfolio. And instead of going about it in a very disorganized way and making mistakes, I would like to give you context about why you should create a content portfolio, what it does exactly, and how it will help you. And we'll also cover very practical tips on how to create one that will help you bring in more clients or get a job, which is the entire point of this course. So let's dive in. All right. So let's look at what a content writing portfolio is to begin with. Now, a content writing portfolio is a collection of a writer's best work. This showcases skills and versatility across different topics and formats. So, if you're somebody who writes for finance or healthcare, or perhaps the sports niche or some other arena, having a portfolio allows you to show what you can do in these areas. It's also a place where you will put together different formats of your work. So you may be someone who focuses on short form content like social media posts or landing page copy or ad copy. And a writing portfolio will help you put everything together and show people what you do with different formats. Now, typically, a content writer is someone who works on a lot of blog content or white papers, ebooks, and similar material. So, your content writing portfolio is this one place where you can show the different types of formats you can do and the different topics you can cover. Now, this is important because employers or clients want to hire people who are familiar with their line of work, but we'll cover that further a little later. Your portfolio is also a visual resume. It is, instead of sending a resume, many clients don't really care about a writer's resume. What they want to see is your portfolio, which is a stand-in for what your resume would be. It lets people understand how good your quality is and how well you can communicate through the written word. A strong portfolio highlights your expertise and demonstrates your proficiency in engaging audiences, mastering tone, and crafting compelling narratives. I hope that was clear. In short, it's all about having a single place where you can show the industries that you write for, the types of writing that you do, and it also displays your skills and abilities. Let's move on to the next topic. So, I want to talk about why it's important to have a content writing portfolio. Now, when it's done right, it helps you stand out amidst your competition. There are literally tens of thousands of freelancers and contract workers in the market right now. People who are offering their services as writers or designers, and many of them are disorganized and they don't have a proper portfolio to showcase their work. Having a portfolio elevates you a little bit. It helps you stand out in the market so that when you apply to a gig or reach out to a client, you already have something that shows what you can do. And this immediately places you at a different level than your competition. Now, this second piece of work is really important. A reason why you should have a content portfolio is it creates a body of work. Now, as a writer, especially when you're starting out, you may tend to write content for different clients and people. You may take anything that you get, and you get so lost in the weeds just trying to complete your work. What happens is that you forget about tracking what you do. And at the end of 6 months or a year of writing, it's very disheartening not to know what you've accomplished until then. So, when you create a portfolio, you essentially bring together everything that you've done, you put it together, you create a body of work that you can point to and say, you know what, here's what I've done, this is what I've built. And I find this to be a really powerful reason to create a portfolio, just so that you know what you've been capable of. Now, the third reason to have a content writing portfolio is to give samples to clients and employers. So, if you go on LinkedIn and start following people in the content writing and freelancing industry, you will come across a very common complaint where people, clients, and businesses who are hiring writers constantly ask people to write um, test samples and free material for them. Now, this is not easy. Now, if you have steady clients and you can take on a new one, writing a test piece is not a big deal. But if you are reaching out to dozens or 100 or hundreds of possible gigs, and each one of them asks you to write a test post or some kind of test content where you need to do your research, create the content, edit it, format it, and send it over, you soon realize that this becomes an impossible task and takes away a lot of your precious time where you are going unpaid. And it does happen quite often that there are businesses that have no intention of paying writers. Rather, they create this bait saying we have a project and we want to hire writers. um, Send us your work, we would like to test what you're doing. And in the end, you write a well written, hard worked test article and you send it to them, and they reject you and sometimes use the work that you did for them for free without no compensation at all. So when you have a robust portfolio, this you can cast this aside. This is a great way for you to filter out potentially bad um, clients and businesses to work for. Now, you can always show them your portfolio and say, if you need a sample, please take a look at what I have to offer. It's already there, you should be able to make a judgment based on that. Now, and that's a main reason. That's a main reason why you should have a content writing portfolio. Of course, there will be times where there are legitimate companies that want to hire the best writers, and they will insist on a free test post. And it may be in your best interest to write them, but you really need to take on a call on that on a case by case basis. Generally, however, if somebody is asking you to write for free, number one, they don't know what they're asking for. Number two, they did not do research or check out your work. And number three is that they have no idea what they're doing. And none of these things make a client a good person to work for. A couple more reasons why a content writing portfolio will help you. So, as we are doing this course and going through this material, You may feel like, okay, this is a lot of extra detail that you may not need. But as somebody who's been in the industry for a long time, I want to give you my best information so that you step into the content marketing field with all the information you need to help you take the best steps from the beginning. So I hope that you're getting a lot of context from this and what mistakes to watch out for or what's good signals to look out for. So let's continue. Let's quickly finish why you need to have a content writing portfolio. One is to build your reputation. I'll be showing you examples later on of successful content writers who stand out in the marketplace, and they're so well known that they have no problems getting clients. They have a waiting list of clients who want to work with them. And having a portfolio can be a key part of that because it is a record of what you've done. When you can show people, I'm Deb and this is my work and this is what I've done for my clients, you build your reputation as a good writer or a converting writer in your specific field. You also want your portfolio to show your knowledge and versatility, whether you can, perhaps jump from one subject to another, and whether you're capable of writing about a specific subject. Many people who hire writers consider their background and their knowledge to be very important factors when it comes to hiring. So, if you want to get a well paying gig in something like insurance or finance, your portfolio should reflect that. And a portfolio gives you the chance to show the depth and breadth of your knowledge, which will be a huge inducement for clients to hire you. Of course, it also acts as a promotional tool that you can share on social media and other places to attract people to work with you. And finally, having a content portfolio will help you improve as a writer. As I was doing this course, I went and I looked at my previous writing from when I started 6 years ago to where I am right now. And the transformation is tremendous. If you have a content writing portfolio, you have a chance to go through your previous work and look at what you've achieved in the past. This will help you, make gradual changes or see where you've done things well or done things wrong and make improvements. So we come to the part where we're going to create your content writing portfolio. Before we go into the actual steps that you will take, I'd like you to understand certain best practices, because when it comes to content writing portfolios, number one, most writers don't have one or they don't maintain one that is well. Or if they do, it's all over the place and a bit disorganized, or they try to, push in too much knowledge in one place that may be irrelevant. So when you're creating your portfolio, it's important to have certain principles in mind so that when you're building one for yourself, which will be unique to you, you will know what to prioritize and what to disregard. So, number one is focus on clarity and quality over quantity. Um, so, I've written thousands of posts, but I cannot and I will not list every single one of them in my portfolio. Number one, because I ghost wrote many of them. And another reason because it is irrelevant to most people. When I need to produce work to show to clients, I want to have a very simple and sort of brief breakdown of my best work. So you need to, number one, showcase your best work. And number two, make sure that it's simple and clear so that people, when they look at your portfolio, they instantly know where to click, what to find, and understand what you're capable of. And when you create your portfolio, you want to categorize it, make sure that you group it based on the niche you're writing for, the industry, and the type of content. So, type of content includes white papers, blog posts, social media posts, ebooks, and other types of formats. You may want to create multiple portfolios. This is not strictly necessary, but there are some clients and companies that will prefer you as a writer if you put relevant topics at the top. Let's say you're going to work for a company that is focused on women's health and fitness. If you have articles related to women's wellness at the very top of your portfolio, or featured or highlighted, that will likely benefit you. And you could have another portfolio about food on another link, and create these different portfolios that appeal to different niches and clients. Focus on results and performance. So, see, when you write, you're not just writing for the sake of it. You want to create specific results. Some of these results or outcomes includes traffic, includes engagement, includes sales. These, what does your writing do? Make sure that in your portfolio you put your best work, but also create context for it by saying, writing this post helped it rank in the number 3 spot in a search engine's result page, or this drove x amount of traffic, or this created or increased leads by 10%. Next, you want to have a consistent style and format. You do not want to use different fonts or image styles in your portfolio. Keep it clean and structured. Your portfolio should be visible on any device. You cannot take it for granted that your user or client or business employer is going to see your portfolio only on a website. It needs to be visible on a phone or a tablet. And you always want to add calls to action. Remember, as a marketer, you want people to take action. So even when they're looking at your portfolio and you've created all this content for people to refer to, you want to make sure that they have something to do once they're done looking over your work. This means having a call to action like email me here, reach out to me on this number, or connect with me on LinkedIn, or fill in this contact form to work with me. Make sure you have a call to action in your content portfolio to get more clients. Right. The first suggestion I have for you is to create a Google Drive or use Google Docs to make your portfolio. This is not necessarily the best option out there, but if you are brand new to content writing and freelancing and you need to start just somewhere, anywhere, somewhere, then get started with Google Drive and Google Docs. This is good for beginners when you're not familiar with using websites, or you don't want to invest in paid tools to create your portfolio. Google Drive and Docs are free. You can also share and protect your work. Now, this is a very important feature. When you create a content writing portfolio, it needs to be shareable. And Drive and Docs, they have a easy functionality where you can just create a link, or you get a link. You can either make it visible to everyone in the world, make it visible to specific email addresses, or add people to the document, and even control whether they can only view it or edit it or comment on it. And when you have a drive is free, right? Google Docs and Google Drives are free. You can create multiple portfolios. If you want an entirely different portfolio for the finance sector, or an entirely different portfolio for your ebooks, you can use your Google Drive and Doc for it. And it's also accessible to most people and businesses. You can also post articles or put articles that aren't live. I don't mean post, I mean that you can create articles that are not live. So when you're a beginning writer, it can be difficult to get your content live on a third party website. It can be an entire process where you reach out to a website, ask them if you can write for them. Most often nobody replies to you, and you can do this for dozens and even hundreds of websites, getting maybe just one nibble, just one person interested in having you write content for their site. So when you're new and you don't have live articles to share with your audience, you can create articles, put them in Google Docs, and even though they aren't live, you can still use them as evidence of your work. There are editors and clients and hiring managers out there who are okay that you don't have published work at the moment, as long as you have a well written sort of document or a blog post or article saved in a Google Doc, and all you need to do is share it with them. They'll be happy with that. So in this way, Google Drive and Google Docs, these are that's a basic way to start writing your portfolio, and it's something that you should know anyway. Most people share finished work and get edits from editors and content managers via Drive and Doc. So you should be familiar with it. Let's just look at one simple example. So this is a folder on Google Drive, and this is my earliest work. And it's quite funny to look at it because I started all of this in early 2019. This is the stuff I did when I was starting out, working for pretty much a content mill that had, I don't know how many writers just churning out content. So I simply had a document. I named it Deb's Freelance Portfolio. I shared it with the right people, and I had several documents with my finished work placed over here. And a person who's going to hire you or look at your portfolio, all they have to do is come to they'll get a link to your drive, they'll arrive here, and they can click on different documents to see what you have to offer. So this is some of the early work that I did, unformatted and short, but still, it's a good starting point. It's a way for you to just let people know that that you can do something. So if you need a quick look into creating a folder on Drive, it's very simple. You go to drive.google.com, you create, you go to plus new or just new, create new folder, give it a name like Alan Johnson portfolio, click OK, and you have a brand new portfolio that you can add documents to. Here you can just keep adding documents like this. Hold on. And close it. So you have your folder, you have your document, and you can change the share settings by going to this arrow button and going to share. And when you say share, click on share, you get an option where you can restrict who gets to view it, comment it, or edit it. And you click done, and that's it. You have your basic content writing portfolio. Let's move on to the next one. So for your next option, the next good way for you to create an online portfolio is to use a third party platform. Today, there are many websites and platforms out there that are dedicated to helping freelance writers and content writers set up their portfolios. And these platforms are very, very useful because they take away a lot of the design work for you. They are built for writers, they know what's important. They focus on congregating or bringing together all the important links that you've created, or rather all the important posts that you've created. They allow you to display them in a very attractive way, feature your most important work. They add details about you as a writer and what you've done, and they give people a way to just access your content with a link. So it's good for beginners when you don't want to create your own website or you don't want to create your own portfolio from scratch. There are free third party platforms that you should use, and but they are very limited. They will not let you create your portfolio for free for unless you do a trial for a week. And some of them may only allow you to display 10 of your articles, but that's okay. We'll look into it a little deeper. Using a third party platform is also good because you get a link, you share it, and they look great. Your portfolio looks great, and it's visible on any screen or any device. It's very accessible, And there are some platforms like Authry that we look at soon that allow you to save your articles permanently. So this is going to be interesting for some of you writers, but when you create content, right, and you give it to your client, it's not necessary that they will publish it in your name, for one thing. And they may also publish it in your name at first, but then decide to remove your authorship from your content entirely, and there goes, any evidence that you worked on it or that you have an established presence online. Platforms like Authory, this is next level. The Authory is one of the best content writing portfolios out there. It it not only helps you create your portfolio, it also saves your article permanently. So let's say I've written content for a website in Europe, and much of it has disappeared. But I think if I had used Authory and added my link to it, it would be visible on Authory even today. With the images and the content and my bio, everything would be on it. And there's and the other platforms that are available out there, like clippings.me or about.me, that are also good to work with. They are not as advanced or sophisticated as Authory, but they allow you to just add links and add Google Docs, and it gives you like a really cool place to showcase your work. So, going with third party platforms, I'd like to just show you my portfolio. I used clippings.me. It's just called clippings.me, and this is my portfolio. This got me a job, by the way. This got me a really great job many, many years ago. All I did was I signed up, I got a free portfolio. I was able to add, you see here, it says I can add 10 free clippings only. It allowed me to add 6 pieces of content. So I just have my name, I have a little bit of information in my bio, I have the portfolio itself over here with some of the work that I've done. And it goes to a website that doesn't exist anymore. But there we go. This is how a third party platform might look. You also have the option to organize some of your work by moving it up and down. You could also create different tabs or headings for your content. But all of these, again, they are premium items that you need to pay for. Let's also look at about.me. So, the nice thing about sites like this is that you can do something for free on them. Like you just have a little bit about yourself, and it's a nice way to get your content and your personality online. It's better than just emailing people and telling them that you want to work with them, but you don't have anything to show for it. So go ahead, create a profile on one of these places, and if you're interested, opt for a paid version and take your portfolio to the next level. I have other options, of course. I'd like to share with you like my favorite free but easy to customize way, which is at the very end. We'll just look at Authory and move on to the next section. So this is the one that I was talking about. It is expensive, it is extremely good to work with, and it is also great for anyone who wants to archive their work and save it. It also has like advanced features where you can get people to sign up to your newsletter, and in that way, you are connected with people in the long run. So go ahead and check it out. There isn't much to say with regard to tools like this. It's very self evident. You sign up, you pay for it, you add items, like you add from URL, you upload a PDF, you create a category, and all your work is on display. And you can just copy and paste the link and share it with someone else. There really isn't anything else to it. Moving on. So, before we dive into my favorite way to create a portfolio, I would like to talk to you about something that could be good for you in the long run for your career. You can create your own website. When I say create your own website, I'm talking about building a complete personal brand website that represents your achievements, your goals, and who you even want to be in the future. Let me show you a brief example. I've got my own site that I have built for multiple purposes. This website isn't just for me to showcase my content and my portfolio. This is also for me to rank for specific topics. So you could create a complete website for yourself in your name. And let's just talk about it a little bit. So when you create your own website, right, you're doing it for the long term. You're not doing it just because you want to get clients in the next few months or for this year. When you create a site, you should be able to leverage it for years, maybe decades, even depending on how you plan your career to go. A personal brand website will help you achieve multiple goals. Like I said, for me, it isn't just about showing my portfolio. I also want to find clients for different types of tasks. I am trying, or I earn affiliate income through putting links. I get ad income from this. I use it to rank for specific keywords because I want my brand to be associated with content marketing. And also, it's helpful for me to get guest posts, do cross branding, cross linking with other companies. And I'm keeping my blog alive because I'm not sure where I want to go in the next decade, but having this as my body of work definitely gives me more options. You can also develop thought leadership when you have your own personal brand. So a portfolio, right, it's something that you show your clients. It's something that you show to them so they see what you can do for their brand. But when you have your own personal branded website, it's where you get to talk about what's important to you. For example, I'm in content marketing and I believe that AI is overrated. It gives me writing about my thoughts, puts me in a different space. I become more of a thought leader. And in the long run, this could be a game changer that allows me to step into a more into a consulting role or step into an executive role or mentor people. And next point, which is you get alternative income sources. You can leverage your personal brand website to get ads, sponsorships, build a newsletter, and so on. You also get total control over how it looks. So I'm about pink and feminine, and it reflects in my logo and choice of colors. Whereas if you go to a site like clippings.me, you have virtually very little control over the brand, over the font, over the layout. Whereas I can create whatever I feel like with my own blog. And that's one reason to create your own website. But why shouldn't you create a website of your own? One, because it's quite expensive and can be overkill. For example, it costs me a few $100s to host my site. I'm also paying for the domain URL. I may have to hire writers to fill in the content. I had to hire designers to set up my site from scratch. So this is something to, it doesn't have to be that difficult, and I'm not going to dive into creating your own portfolio website because that's beyond the scope of this particular post. I just want you to know that it's possible. It's something for the long term. In the future, you may not want to remain a writer, and having a blog with your portfolio on it along with other types of content sets you up for to take different directions in your future career. So let's move on. Coming to the option that I recommend for most people right now is using Notion. I don't know if you've heard of Notion. You probably have. It is a fantastic project management tool that also includes a document experience. It, for me, it combines Word, MS Word, or Google Docs along with Asana and other tools. And the best part is that it's free. You can create a ton of content on Notion, and you can share your portfolio on it very easily. So some reasons to use Notion. Number one is that it is free, it's very user friendly, it's very pretty, and it works on any device. You can categorize your content very easily, you can add links, you can format your content with columns. You can put something called web bookmarks, which I'll show you. You can add emojis and rich content in general. Basically, you can make your portfolio come alive on a Notion document, and it is completely free and shareable, which is why I love it. So here's the example that I created for you on Notion. This is also the template that I will be sharing with you in the end of this course. This is a made up content portfolio. You will have access to this. You'll be able to edit it and simply insert your own image or content, and make changes. Everything is okay. Let's look at everything you need. First, you just need a simple header that says so and so's content portfolio. You need a simple bio or introduction about what you do, what this portfolio is about. So this fake person says that they help health and wellness media companies 10x their traffic by writing complex topics in a simple way. So this is where you can write your stuff. You can say, I'm Ashish or I'm Janet. This is Janet's content portfolio, and I help insurance companies 10x their leads by writing about complex insurance subjects in a simple way. And here is a quick, we already showed a bit of evidence here. You 10x traffic, and here we say drive thousands of views to targeted readers. And here is the call to action, which I mentioned in an earlier slide is very important. Let's discuss how I can elevate your brand's voice and reach. Here we have a link with a fake website. Nevertheless, if somebody clicked on it, this should lead to a place where they can contact you. If you don't have a website where you can be contacted, this can be your LinkedIn, or you can just ask people to email you with your email right here. So here's the first section, which is my health and wellness, my health and fitness articles. You can fill in this bracketed area with your particular niche. You have a small description, and then you have web bookmarks where people can click on it and go see your work. All of this is made up. None of this belongs to a real person. For this particular example, I just wanted to show you what a Notion portfolio can look like. You have this, you have the name, you have a description and a call to action, you have a category, you have your links to your live website. You can also add a Google Doc or a Drive folder right here. Here we have another category of content. Here we have another category of content. They are in two columns so that they are visible in one place. And here at the bottom, we have another format, which is different from the rest: ebooks, white papers, and reports. And as you can see here, you can simply, include your PDF or some kind of a document, and it doesn't have to be a link, which is why I love Notion. It's so flexible, it's attractive, and it's easy to use. And in the end, we have a call to action section where you invite people to contact you and reach out to you in multiple ways. So let's look at how we can edit this. So this is the template that I'll be sharing with you. All you have to do is click on this file, which will take you to this editables area. So I recommend that you spend some time working on a plain document on Notion just to see how it works. Notion is fantastic in the sense that all you have to do is click somewhere and you can start writing, and your work appears. Now, when I put a backslash, a bunch of options come up. So I press backslash and I can choose heading one. And this will be the heading for my page, which could be, you know, Janet's content portfolio. And that's like a very basic way to understand how Notion works. I've done everything for you here. All you need to do is click and change stuff. I don't really want to change it too much because I will be sharing this with you. But everywhere you see material that you can click on, just go ahead and change it as much as you can. If you were to just hover over this link, you can click on edit and you can change the link. You can delete it. You can add your email right there. Make sure that, so this is an H heading to feature. Make sure that you click here and insert your particular industry. This is a web bookmark. So if I hover over this and go to this plus sign, it says click to add below. I'm going to do that and hit the backslash and say web bookmark. And when I click enter, it allows me to enter a link over here. So I'm going to add one. And you have a very nice link that you can add to this. You can delete it by just hitting backspace. You can drag things around in this way. You can hover over something, click on the three dots at the side, and change the color, give it a caption. You can delete it, duplicate it, and so on. I suggest that you keep things as similar as you can. Just click to add below, go to web bookmarks and add your particular link. And make sure that you leave comments or reach out to me if you have any trouble. I created this column space by using Notion itself. So let me just go here and click to add below. Okay, that's bringing me into the column. So I'm going to just head to this, go over here, and I'm going to say click to add below. And when I do the backslash, right, I have options to add columns, which is what I did. I just created two columns, and under each one, if you just click here, you can toggle between them. I added web bookmarks to each one of them. That is if you want to create columns. It is also perfectly fine for you to just add links or add web bookmarks in a straight line, or to create space between them and perhaps add a heading to give more description. Hold on. So make sure you play around with it or just edit the information that I've already added. You can add links as well by clicking on this. And let's look at the options. If you scroll down, you can upload a file of any kind. I might upload a document, and this will now be accessible to everyone. By clicking on this, I can add a caption and give it a brief description so people know what to look for. Here, this is a divider. Once again, you can click anywhere on Notion, move things around, press the backslash and insert a divider. And that will help you create a bit of space in your document without crowding it too much. So I forgot to include something in the original video when I created this course. This is an insert. I will be sharing you this particular page on Notion. You can click on the portfolio here where it is editable by you. When it's time for you to share this, click on share and publish it. Okay. You can hit publish and grab the link for it. Copy site link. Now, when you send it to somebody, they will get an unedited version of this item. Make sure that you create this link, publish it so that it's visible to people, and that's it. So this is using Notion. I hope that you use this option. It's incredibly helpful. I will be sharing with you. This is the bonus template that I was talking about. And this really covers the entire course. I just want to finish with a few tips and some examples. Here we have three different portfolios. This one is Harim's portfolio. Harim is a writer and he created a very simple portfolio on Notion. And let's look at how he's done it. His version is different from mine, which is absolutely fine. And you can opt for this as well. He has a heading 1, he has a heading 2 or 3 over here. He's added a cute emoji. He's given a very brief description. And he's created something called a gallery view where he has added projects or databases under each one. These are databases. And when you click on them, you get this side panel opening up with his content online. So make sure that you explore this. I will add the link in the description for you to check it out yourself. Another portfolio that I'd like you to look at, which is very simple, which I didn't cover, is this portfolio by Dominic Kent. This is incredibly simple. Dominic Kent is a well-established writer in the unified communications field. He charges $2,000 a blog post, and he has like a long list of clients with him who are working with him for a very long time. And he posts about his work on LinkedIn constantly. He's well established, so he doesn't have to create a very fancy portfolio. So all he did was created a page on Medium, and here it is. Just 2 lines. Check out what I think are my best 10 content marketing assets. Click on each image to open, and here you have all the work that he's done. You click on one of them, it takes you to another page. Let's look at one of his client works. This is something that he created for his client. Here's another one. That's it. All he did was write 2 lines at the top, link to his work, and that is Dominic's portfolio. And he's extremely well established, so he doesn't really have to do a whole lot. But that's an example you can check out. This is Kat Ambrose. Now, Kat has created a website of her own. This is her personal brand site. This is especially her portfolio. And that's it. You've got your header. You've got a simple line here. Look at my latest and greatest work. And if you click on each one and open it, you can see what she's done. And as you can see, there's not a whole lot here. It's very simple. It's very basic. It's crystal clear. She has a call to action at the end. And that's really all you need to do. You need to build your work and make it available to people so that they can find the information they need in a flash. And that's really it for the main part of the course. You've just covered everything you need to know. So you want to get started creating your portfolio today. I want to share a few more additional tips for you. Now, if you're brand new to content writing and you're looking at creating a portfolio and you're thinking, well, I've written nothing, there's nothing live to share. What do I do? This section is for you. If you want to build content and you don't have experience and you don't have live work anywhere, my suggestion to you is number one, write on free and open platforms like Medium, LinkedIn, Vocal, and others. So these are platforms that don't have any kind of restriction for who writes, how often, how much, and when. And as such, they're not exactly great evidences of well done paid work. But if you're starting at scratch, you really need to start somewhere. And I suggest just going to Medium or LinkedIn and Vocal and writing about something that interests you or the field that you want to be in. Let me show you some of my work in this way. So this is a newsletter that I created on LinkedIn. They are articles that don't fit a particular niche, but you can still do this for yourself. All you need to do is go to your post, and I'll just show it to you how that works. So it's just an article. It's shareable. You can send it to people. You can build your early reputation and your early work. Here's another one: is content writing a good career? You can structure it the way a post should be structured, put a lot of helpful information. Now, this is a post by somebody else. This is Kathy Caprino, and this is a post that she created where she talks about toxic behaviors that push people away. And she's gone very into depth about this topic. And apparently, it's one of the most popular ones on LinkedIn. It's got 5,000 engagement, 1,000 and so comments, and that itself is very powerful. You don't need to have your content live on a third party site that pays you for it. If you have a great content piece of content on LinkedIn, on Media, and similar websites, and it has good engagement and comments and is actually valuable and helps people, then you're basically sorted. So creating a simple LinkedIn article is like this. You go to your main feed, you come to the section where you generally write posts, and you click write article, choose your name, and you come to a place where you can pretty much publish almost anything you like as long as it's not problematic. You add an image, your title, and your content, paste it, and publish it by clicking next. And you have a live article. And this is a perfectly valid way for you to create content that is live. Now, you can do the same thing with medium.com and vocal.media. So let's look at the next tip if you don't have live content, which is to write guest posts. So, a guest post is when you, as a guest, write content for a third party website. And the difference is that they will be picky about what they post. They will vet your content. They will check whether it meets their guidelines and is useful to the audience. And if it is, they will go ahead and publish your work. How do you find or write guest posts? Again, I will do this very briefly. It's beyond the scope of this course, but what I suggest to you is that you think about a topic that you're interested in. For example, DIY, which is do it yourself, and write for us. This is the most basic way to find guest posting opportunities. This could be DIY right for us, could be healthcare right for us, could be dance right for us. And click enter. Google will show you websites that allow people to send them articles which they may publish. This one is by Creately. They will have a list of requirements with a word count, making sure that it's unpublished elsewhere. It has to be very valuable, it has to be structured, and if they like your content, they will publish it and it will be visible to 100,000 people. And the end result is that you also have something live on a third party website. When your content is vetted, approved, and published, you you kind of like build your reputation in that way. And it's always good to have your author byline on another site. Many of them will not pay. This is not a writing gig. This is just so that you have something to fill your portfolio. Create unpublished pieces. Like I mentioned earlier, you can write on Google Docs and Google Drive. It's okay that it's not live on somebody's website as long as it's a good example of what you can do. That's your option. You can create your own blog with helpful content. I suggest joining writing challenges and competitions because here you'll actually get feedback on your work, which will help you grow and learn from writing communities. So let's take a look. I'm going to say marketing writing community and see what pops up. So you have LinkedIn writers community and a few more that you should check out. So quick look shows me that there are online communities like NaNoWriMo and Writer Cooler. So if you were to join these places and keep your eyes open for opportunities, contests, and other kind of gigs that show up, you have a chance to build your network with different people, learn from them, get feedback, and basically learn a lot about the industry that you are in. So make sure that you find and join communities and do something small. Basically, make small steps, get something live and up. It takes, it's always the first steps that are the hardest, and they seem like they don't make an impact, but they really do. This There are people who have hundreds or thousands of pieces of work available online, but they all had to start at zero and write 10 or 20 small works before you do something important. So the key is that you should really just get started and connect with people, do competitions, find different ways to make sure that you're live online. And to continue, places where you can publish easily. These are places that I know allow you to publish quite easily. For example, Hackanoon is an IT website, but they also post marketing stuff, and it's fairly easy. All you need to do is open an account with them. I've written a few articles for them over time, and it's really great. You just need to be decent with your quality of work. Make sure that whatever you've written offers value. So this is something that I used as my what do you say, something to build my portfolio in the early days. They If your work is something they're interested in, they may take 3 days to publish it. If it's something they're not too keen on, they may take a week, but generally keep your eyes open for feedback from editors and just create content. You can have like a pretty decent portfolio on Hackanoon. Newsbreak is the same. Now, Newsbreak is a US media website. It's not particularly elevated or as good as, let's say, the New Yorker, but they accept and publish almost anything as long as it's not problematic. I suggest that you check out Newsbreak as well. There's Indie Hackers, where you can sign up. You have to spend a few days building your reputation there by commenting and helping other people. Then I mentioned Medium, Vocal, LinkedIn. There's also Hashnode, Code Newbies, and Dev2. These are communities for IT and tech stuff. They are pretty liberal with what they post. It's If you just want to have something live, then go ahead with them, as well as Substack. Now, Fast Company is a very good website. It is a place where they will have very high standards for what they publish. So you need to come up with interesting content and meet their stringent guidelines. You can also set up your own blog on WordPress.com, where you just sign up and you can get a blog with a URL that goes, janet.wordpress.com. And yeah, many people have such blogs. Let me show you one. There's Rejected Princesses. So, Rejected Princesses is a blogger website, if I'm not mistaken. Blogger and website are these sort of hosting platforms where they give you a website with limited features. You can customize the domain name a little bit. Like this used to be what, rejectedprincesses.blogger.com or something. And I think now she just bought a complete domain so that it's only Rejected Princesses. And it's pretty old fashioned, it's simple, but it does the job. If you all you are looking for is a place to make sure that your work is live and helpful to a specific community. Let me see. So this person is a writer and a comic artist, and yeah, pretty popular with a specific community. So these are some ideas for you to create your content online. And let's look at my final set of tips, which is make sure that you create a variety of content. As a content writer, you will mostly write blog posts, but try to build white papers, case studies, social media content, and short and long form content so that you can show that you can do a variety of work. Also, create a quick video with Loom, add it to the top of your portfolio page so that you can talk to your client or employer directly. Update your portfolio with your new work. Include descriptions or context wherever needed, but as you saw from the examples I shared, it's not really that necessary. Make sure you mention important achievements, give people ways to contact you, and make sure that whatever you're sharing on your portfolio is consistent everywhere. So, share your work on social media, share your work on Twitter or X or Facebook or Instagram and LinkedIn so that you have multiple ways that people find you. And that's it, I'm done. We've completed the course on creating your content writing portfolio. I have many more courses coming up. Stay in touch with me and let me know if you'd like to work with me as a client. I can help you create content and strategies. Also check out my blog. I cover a lot of content marketing topics. And take care. Thank you.